video is going to be about propaganda, excuses, backpedaling, and spin doctoring. Bray Payton died from two things that you can try to prevent by having vaccines, is the assertion. Well, no. The assertion is, and this is the only one I know of, is that she was an anti-vax person. What is this backed up by? A 2011, maybe right out of high school, maybe in high school statement saying, whooping cough, state urges more people to get vaccinated. And no, vaccines are from the devil. This is not her being anti-vax. She's complaining about having to get another freaking injection. Every kid on the planet knows that it's a pain in the ass to get an injection. Actually, it's a shot in the arm. Okay? But that's all. Okay? This is literally the entire basis for it. You're literally looking at the whole subject matter claiming Bray Payton was anti-vaccine. Okay? Now let's move forward, way forward. The talk page on Wikipedia and history version of it say she has expressed the belief that Salem witch trials were justified and she believes in witches. Will this be added? At some time in the past year. Now the reason I'm bringing this up is a conservative or a liberal person on any media, Wikipedia, Facebook, whatever, will be demonized if a person is prominently involved in any discussion. Vaccines are a subject matter where people will be lied about. It doesn't matter what side you're on. Both sides will argue and lie. But this is the scary part. The anti-vaccine people lied about her being anti-vaccine. Or not. You get to decide. She was also anti-vaxxer, which ultimately led to her death. She died of influenza A virus, subtype H1N1, and meningitis. Meningitis anti-vaccines are not commonly given, as far as I know, but I could be wrong. But anyway, Fox News anti-vaxxer commenter, and it's on some website, The Science Enthusiast, which is a blog most likely. The point I'm making here is this was removed because it was sourced from a bad source appropriately. What is the actual source? The actual entire source, again, was that tweet. It has nothing to do with anybody's opinionation. Okay, it's nothing. It was her complaining about having to get another shot, probably right out of high school, or maybe empathetically. And obviously, it was sarcastic. That is not a basis to claim she was anti-vaccine. Now I'm going to go forward to the victim blaming and victim playing. Assertion by this website, Autism Investigated. No, you're not investigating autism because you keep blaming it on stuff that isn't real. Brian Deere, Sunday Times reporter. And then a bunch of assertions that don't make any sense. But anyway, the assertion. This here says that Fox News reporter was anti-vaccine. Now, this is not really true. Where did this come from? Brian Deere is accused of doing this tweet. All right. Well, Brian Deere has a Twitter page, and that's where this is supposed to come from. And it says the translation is, anti-vaccine journalist dead from no vaccine. Now, I don't know if he actually did that, but Brian Deere is a person who's getting demonized by making fake tweets up because it's trivial to do so. So, of course, they would have linked to it, number one. And number two, if this is where this comes from Brian Deere anyway, saying this, they would have archived it because it's trivial to archive Twitter. It isn't able to protect itself from being archived. Let's look what actually was said by CNN. This is the archive of it as soon as I could get it. December 29th. This is the oldest one I could get off of CNN.com. It doesn't say that she was anti-vaccine. Next one. This one is an archive of it again, the 31st. It was updated. I found the oldest version. It doesn't say anti-vaccine. It might have. Oh, they were referring to CNN Chile. Now, this is the actual statement, the only one of it, and I had to look up the archive of it, the oldest archive, and then I had to translate it to be able to read it, because someone on the Autism Investigated website is only talking about a Spanish language version of CNN, which means the English language primary population here has to rely on this person not lying. We're going to see if this Autism Investigated website lied about Brian Deere and CNN, which is very popular. Many world media outlets have covered the tragic death of our 26-year-old writer who died last week of complications. Some have used a tweet from her when she was just a teenager to describe her as part of the anti-vaccine movement. She's never said anything like that before. Now, this is the thing. Who is making this assertion? Who is making the assertion that some media have done this? Now, remember, the only thing CNN Chile is doing here is reporting that she's being used in this bullcrap argument, pro and con vaccine, when it has nothing to do with her. That's literally what happened. What happened is, because she died from H1N1, anti-vaxxers and vaccine activists both saw her come up in their feed, because all they do is look up news feeds for various things that are vaccine preventable. And when she died, they tried to see if they could find any evidence she's anti-vaccine or pro-vaccine. It didn't matter which. And on both sides went after this. The only thing CNN Chile did is report that Benjamin Dominic said this. It is not saying she's anti-vaccine, but if you don't have the translation, and more importantly, if you don't have this archive, which I will be providing below, you won't know that Autism Investigated lied about the CNN Chile reporting. Because they did. This is a person quoting Benjamin Dominic. Who's Ben Dominic? Ben Dominic is from the Federalist. He's the one who made the assertion. CNN Chile did not assert that she was an anti-vaxxer. It has anti-vax in the tags automatically added because it was a word used in the article. In addition, Dominic dedicated a mode of editorial, etc. Now it doesn't even include this because they found out that people were using his quote against CNN. Yes, a quote by the Federalist publisher is being misused to accuse CNN Chile because, again, Autism Investigated relied on you not being able to look up the CNN article itself or the Google Translate from Spanish. Because Ben Dominic said that, and Ben is from the Federalist. So if you're going to accuse somebody of making this assertion, what he was doing was noting that the assertion was made somewhere. And it was. A couple of bloggers went out of their way to look up a single tweet and lie about her. What else happened on Twitter? I don't know if you know this, but twitter.com/Dear Brian, DEER, is Brian Deere's Twitter page. The only archive, that anybody made was a recent one, well, relatively, January 2017, where he compared his long duration trying to get a doctorate to Andrew Wakefield. And that set people off, and they wanted to get him since 2017 or earlier. He's very strongly against the anti-vaxxers because the anti-vaxxers are psychotic asshats. So they try to demonize him. So again, he's in the crosshairs of the Autism Investigated webpage. Or is he? I don't know. You get to decide. But nobody archived this apparent smoking gun tweet that proved that he misused the death of somebody and lied about them being anti-vaccine as a false flag harassment complaint. So let's go on and look at the Wayback Machine. Nobody archived that tweet that he's supposed to have made. You can check this. You can just hit the from and to sorting. I already did it. Nobody archived any of his statuses or any statement about this, as far as I know. He might have actually said it, but again, Autism Investigated. If you knew that he made this tweet, and he probably deleted it when he found out he was wrong, why wouldn't you do a decent job of this? Also, you only show it in Spanish. And this is obviously Google translated, right? So why didn't you... hey, there's that bit.ly yada yada via SIPSE. Was he retweeting something? Maybe he was. That's possible. But again, you're accusing him of doing something when he's literally reposting a link to something. Now, I'm going to include that below because you can read it. But that indicates he didn't say anything. he did repost something, or he posted a link to something. He might have deleted it, but why didn't you archive it if you wanted to prove he did it? I mean, I will if I find it, because that would be an example of him making a dum-dum because he believed some fake news source. And again, I'm going to repeat this, emphasis added. CNN never said, you had to archive it, never said, another CNN Chile ever said that she was anti-vax. They're only quoting Benjamin Dominic as a clarification after the fact. They might have quoted him directly, but we'll find out. I'm sure that I'm totally wrong about this. So let's go here. What did anti-vaccine people do about her death? Remember, the assertion is people are lying about her being anti-vaccine when she was pro-vaccine. Well, again, anti-vaccine people and pro-vaccine people will demonize anyone. So the anti-vaccine people may or may not have done it. After Twitter, anti-vaxxers decided to abuse her by saying this. Nowadays, every conservative writer, commenter who dies so young should be thought of suspiciously. I would think it'd be very easy to inject someone with high dosage of weaponized disease agents. Young, healthy people don't just die. Release her medical records when she was injected with flu vaccine. You forgot to put vaccine in quotes. And wait a minute. 2EW3TFJ is in that one. I wonder if that's real. Again, emphasis added. I'm going to check this and see if that's actually him, if that's actually the title of that article. Anyway, the reason I brought this up, and y'all know why, is this doesn't show she was anti-vaccine. There's no other references for her concerning vaccines, except at one point actually encouraging people to get vaccinated. Yes, she was doing that. And I don't know, but it sure looks like anti-vaxxers and pro-vaxxers all tried to abuse her death because she showed up in the news feed because they are all subscribed to looking up any disease that's vaccine preventable or assumed to be vaccine caused, so that they can use it in their political fear-mongering. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.